That's cool. All right, so we'll have Kyler and then Caroline. Yeah.
3 or 4. Which ones have you done?
All but the first.
Have the second 2 minutes? He make you laugh the second 2?
Everybody was right. Yes, he did a very good job.
He's
So funny.
I can't take credit for that.
I usually give things to talk about.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Do it. He doesn't need it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kyler. If you have not had the displeasure of attending one of my performances before, this is usually the part of the show where I establish that I'm a comedian, not a musician, and then I apologize for being alive. But I think that is another social cue I'm going to ignore tonight. I've been making a habit of it all day so far. I am somewhere on the spectrum. I don't know if you could tell that from everything about me. I know I'm a little behind the times. Autism Awareness Month ended a few weeks ago, but I'm still aware of it. So I may just continue to keep talking. I don't know, I always like it when an underprivileged group gets some amount of time in the spotlight, but Autism Awareness Month always seemed like the least necessary one to be possible. You guys ever met someone on the spectrum? Yes, you have, and you noticed. We are not a secretive people. We will talk to you about shit you've never even considered caring about. People always talk about big game about their gaydars, their ability to read auras, like this inborn sense to suss out something deeply personal just based on vibes. No one ever talks about a spectrum detector, because that's just waiting around in a park for someone to walk up to you and go, "Hi, hello, would you like to talk about Monster Hunter for 6 hours?" I've never had an open, honest discussion with anyone about anything in my life. I've had people come up to me to start a conversation, and then completely independently, I decide what we're talking about. Friends will come up to me and they'll say stuff like, "Hey man, how's it going? Did you see the finale of White Lotus recently? That was crazy, right? Wasn't that crazy?" And I'll sit there and go, No, I did not. Also, I think I'd enjoy life as a werewolf. I think that'd be neat. I'd get to run around at night butt naked and not have that be the thing that immediately worries people. Don't get me wrong, I think the month is fantastic, but I think it's best when it's generally applied. I think it's a great reminder for everybody, no matter how your brain works, to just take a step back and remember you share the planet with people who just don't see it the same way you do. I know it might feel like it sometimes, but you're probably not the only genius in a room full of idiots. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know who you work with. But I'm willing to bet statistically, there's a decent chance that you are diagnosably maybe just a bit of a goofball. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a goofball. There's nothing wrong with knowing you're a goofball. Even if it makes you a little bit much most of the time. And just having a little bit of self-awareness can really take the edge off. And I know that because I've met people with no self-awareness. There are some motherfuckers just walking around completely unaware of how anybody sees them at any point. Any of you guys remember Lauren Culp? If you've had the pleasure of forgetting about him, Lauren Culp is the former police chief of Republic, Washington. Population 990, yeah, you know, population 992. Which means he was basically the lone cop at a mid-sized high school. And while he was on the job one day, which I have to imagine just consisted of him sitting in an empty office staring at the sun for 8 hours, he had an epiphany occur to him. He was going to make a run for governor. He was going to be the Republican gubernatorial candidate for the state of Washington. Now, if you're running as a Republican in an election where King County has to vote on you, you can just, stay home. You don't have to work too hard on it. No one's going to notice if you're not going around knocking on doors. But Lauren Culp, police chief of Republic, Washington, population 992, was not a man so easily daunted. He was going to make a run at it anyway. And you know what? I respected the hell out of him for it. Not because I wanted to vote for him or anything, but because I respect a hustle. And the more I looked at this guy, the more I realized he was perfectly set up for that rarest of cons. Something that was going to set him up for life while probably hurting just about nobody. Think about the position old Laurie was in. Think about how he could have sold himself. He was a cop from Eastern Washington. He was the favorite type of person of a group of people who have perpetual political middle child syndrome. He was the lone, God-fearing man willing to stand up to the entrenched democratic political machine in Seattle. Whether he won or lost, he was going to march right up to them lawless coastal tyrants and tell them what he thought of them. Probably while wearing a really big hat. And if he lost, that was fine. He'd done the important thing. He'd gotten his name out there. He was the guy, the symbol, the martyr, the one willing to stand up for honest, hard-working people. Because as we know, all of the honest, hard-working people in the world live in Republic, Washington. Population 992. I know it sounds like I'm shitting on Eastern a lot in this section, and I promise that's not what I'm doing. I firmly believe that Eastern is just about the same as any other place on Earth. If you really go looking, you will find people who are just trying to do right by their neighbors, and they're willing to do right by you. I just think it's really funny when someone who so clearly hates half of their state asks if they can be in charge of the entire state. It's like that one kid in a cafeteria going, "Your lunch is stinky, give it to me." You know that kid you didn't have in your class because he's not real? So he would run, and he would lose, most likely. And then he would go home, and he'd stay police chief forever. Up until he decided to make a run of county sheriff, which he would crush if he ran opposed at all. And then he'd be locked in. He could skim some money off some bail funds, he'd write a book or two, he'd buy a vacation home, he'd be set. He'd never have to work again. And then I tuned into the gubernatorial debate, and I heard this man speak for the first time. And I remember my heart breaking as I realized he was genuinely convinced he was going to win. Lauren, no! Lauren, no! What are you doing? He was up there talking like, in order to bring industry back to our state, I'm going to sell the CEO of Boeing 3 orphan boys to eat every single week. Motherfucker, what are you doing? Stop trying! This isn't who you are! Just go show up, talk some shit about Inslee, win your county, and go! This could have been perfect! But he didn't know. He didn't know that wasn't who he was. Because we never know how people see us. I'm pretty sure he was going around thinking everybody saw him as like a cool, stoic Wyatt Earp type. And his only mistake was asking too many people if they agreed. I think it's good to get those perceptions about yourself challenged every now and again. Get them changed out. It's like taking yourself into the mechanic. Like, it's been a while. I can't remember the last time I got my preconceived notions changed out. I should probably get someone to look at those. Because the thing is, like, you will go through your life mostly unsurprised by yourself. Because you live with you. You're the only one who's there for every single intrusive thought, every dream you suddenly can't remember enough to tell people about. Like, you're the only one who sees the totality of you. Everyone else is just getting differently sized pieces. And you never know which ones. Like, I was hanging out with a buddy a few years back who had just gotten into a new relationship, and he had fallen hard for this girl. And he was telling me, like, oh, man, I really think it's gonna work out this time. I really like her. I can be myself around her. I can let down the mask. And I was just standing there going, buddy, you have like 18 masks to go. And you can't take all of them down because you don't know all of them are there. Ugh, glad Mike didn't pick that up. Like, I would love to believe that I am an open book, that my friends, family, and partner all know me intimately, every single detail. And I'm sure some of you would too. But I also know that deep down in my heart, every single person in this room has, at one point or another, made at least one Google search that if your dearest confidant were to find out about it, you would promptly kill them with a shovel. It's not because you don't love them, it's not because you don't trust them, it's just because their lane is over there, and now they're right up in your face. I love you, man, I'm sorry, but That's where you need to be. Like, if you think about it personal space-wise, we keep everybody at a certain amount of arm's distance. Some people we keep out here, some people we hold very tight. Some people, when they find out about that one Google search, well, guess what? Now they're wearing your skin. Now they are fully up in your grill. I don't know if it was an embarrassingly stupid question. I don't know if you just invented a brand new porn category to look up, but you know what it was, and you are taking that shit to the grave. Hey, it's okay. I'm right there with you. I'll throw one of mine out there. I didn't know women didn't have prostates until I was 23. Because a little fun fact about me, I went to school in a place called America. But we never know how people see us. So we gotta get those things checked out every now and again. I try out new concepts of self all the time. There have been times when I thought I was really incisive, really clever. There have been times where I thought I was deeply charming. But good news, I think I found one that actually works. I've noticed recently I seem to be like the little brother of every friend group I'm in. I think I'm that autistic friend that just makes you look better for having around. Because like people love me, they just don't really see me as a peer. Which is fine, but it hurts a little bit. But I get it. I have opinions on things adults aren't really supposed to. Like I was hanging out with a buddy one time, same guy as before, and we had Modern Family on in the background, just for a little bit of background noise. And just even as a title, Modern Family is incredibly bold. That is the most 2009 shit I've ever heard in my life. You remember how all of us smug white liberals were clapping ourselves on the back after Obama got elected? I'm like, well, this is the peak of social progress right here. It's never gonna get better than this. In fact, I think we need to commemorate this. We're gonna make a show called Modern Family, because today is forever and we're never gonna die. Modernity is right now. What's that? Our highest billed actor is acclaimed comedian Ed O'Neill, a man most famous for starring in a sitcom 20 years ago, and a walking testament to the inexorable progress of time and the impermanence of achievement? That's fine. That's not an omen about anything. I'm pretty sure time's gonna stop in 2016 anyway. Modern Family, write it, print it, send it. All right, that's a wrap for today. Let's do some coke. Modern Family is a really weird show to come back to in the 2020s. Like, even by sitcom standards, that show revolves around people dealing with problems that I don't think any real person has ever faced. Characters in that show will have their suburban Los Angeles home completely burned down as part of the B-plot. And then it'll be completely restored by episode's end, with no mention of financial ruin anywhere. That doesn't sound very modern to me. There's this couple in the show, and one of them is named Mitch, and he's played by an actor named Jesse Tyler Ferguson. This will be on the test. And in this episode we were watching, this couple was wondering aloud how they were going to talk to their 8-year-old daughter, who had recently just fallen hopelessly in love with the works of Italian auteur filmmaker Federico Fellini. Haven't we all? And as they're navigating this classic parental stumbling block, Mitch wonders aloud, well, I guess that explains why we couldn't get her to watch Ice Age 5. And as soon as I heard that, I wasn't paying attention to the episode, but as soon as that line entered my brain, I perched on the arm of the couch like a puma about to jump on a deer, and I went, rewind! And my friend did, because he enables me. And we listened to that line one more time, and I was just sitting there going like, and he said, Kyler, is there a problem here? And I said, that is beloved sitcom character Mitchell Pritchett, played by 5-time Academy Award nominee Jesse Tyler Ferguson, talking about Ice Age 5 Collision Course. And he said, okay, is there more? And I said, dude, Jesse Tyler Ferguson was in that movie! He said, Kyler, I have no idea what to do with this information. And I said, how does this not raise questions? Think of the implications. Does Jesse Tyler Ferguson exist in Modern Family? Does anyone comment on the fact that he looks exactly like this random suburban LA dad? But who played his role in the show? Is there somebody else? Does Modern Family exist within Modern Family? A show that would theoretically put that Jesse Tyler Ferguson on the map? Who plays Mitch in that? Who played his role in the movie? Who was the Shangri-Lama, Riley? Who was the Shangri-Lama? And his mouth said nothing. But his face said, "Man, I really hope one day you have an actual problem. I really hope something breaks through this La La Land haze you have around you and drowns you in this adult hellscape we all share. You need to grow up and be more like me, dude." Ladies and gentlemen, that man owes me $9,000. That's my time, everybody. Thank you very much.